Welcome to Let's Talk Football with me, Chris.
And me, Richard.
The podcast bringing you the latest in football news. Every week we discuss all the big talking points in the world of football and discuss all the action in the week to come.
In this week's podcast, the Battle of the Bridge 2 ends in a controversial draw. The troubles continue for Manchester United, leading to a historic win for Brentford. Liverpool lose Nunes but save a point against Palace, all while City and Arsenal score 4 and look strong in the early season.
Well, with lots to get on with this week, let's talk football. Right then, welcome back everybody to the third podcast of the season, week 2 of the Premier League. And it's all kind of kicked off, isn't it, already?
No handshakes, please.
No handshakes. Please make eye contact when you shake hands with the opposition managers, and everything will be fine, guys.
Oh, yeah, apparently so. Although, if you've seen a photo that I've seen, Sean Dyche might have something to say about that. Because when Thomas Tuchel and Sean Dyche shook hands last season, he did not look in his eyes.
Well, a bit of respect is needed.
A bit of respect from Thomas Tuchel, please. Yeah.
Or Antonio Conte.
Surprised he didn't trip him up.
Team Tuchel all the way here.
That would have been hilarious if he had.
Team Tuchel all the way. Let's start at the bridge. Let's start at the bridge. 2-2. Lots of controversy in this one.
Wow, you say controversy.
We can't really trust your objectiveness in this matter, though, I'm afraid. So we're just going to have to listen to me on this one.
Okay.
Because you've got your Tottenham eyes on.
Okay.
So I don't think either of the Tottenham goals should have stood.
Okay.
I'm with Thomas Tuchel on this particular occasion.
Well, you're a Thomas Tuchel fan, so I'm not surprised you're with Thomas Tuchel.
I believe that A, Havertz was fouled. I do think that, and
okay.
I think B, Richarlison was in the eye line of the goalkeeper.
Right. Okay.
When the shot came in, and I also believe the second goal. No one ever could argue with the fact that Cucurella is now missing a clump of his hair. He's somewhere left on the grass at Stamford Bridge, which will probably grow a nice little tree or a bush or something when it's roots in. Unbelievable, shocking performance from the officials, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I thought Chelsea outplayed Tottenham for at least 70 minutes of that game. At least 70 minutes of that game, they were the better team. And
the
first half, yes, they were 45 minutes better the
team in the first half. Even I will admit that. Yep.
Even in the second half, though, Tottenham had moments, but Chelsea was still the dominant side.
Sustained pressure from us. We played, for about 15 minutes. We played well.
Yeah. So for me, I just think there's the poles apart, but somehow, thanks to Anthony Taylor and his team and the VAR, they've somehow nicked a point. Daylight robbery at the bridge. Shouldn't be calling it battle at the bridge. It should be robbery at the bridge. Daylight robbery at the bridge.
Well, you say that. Chelsea had 16 shots at goal. Only 3 of them on target.
Yeah, and they scored 2 of them.
Yeah. But they've had 16 shots at goal.
But that's all they needed to win that game. Was those 2.
They didn't put us away. They should have put us away in the first half. They were by far the better team in the first half.
Yeah.
They should have put us away. And they didn't.
Well, they should have, because you shouldn't have scored. Your goal shouldn't have stood.
Well, obviously, we've had this discussion, but we'll have it again. First goal, he touches the ball. You can clearly see that from the angle.
He might touch the ball, but he's taken Havertz out way before he gets the ball.
No, he touches it with his toes.
Oh my God.
And then takes Havertz out.
No, he doesn't touch the ball. I can't have this.
Your thing about the offside, obviously, they would have had to look at that. Yes, he's in his eye line. I think they said that he was far enough away from him that he wouldn't.
I can't buy that. Yeah, but I can't buy that though. How can you accept that as an excuse? Like, he's in. Like, the most important part for the goalkeeper is when the player strikes the ball.
Yeah.
If he can't see the player strike the ball because of that player who stood offside, goalkeeper means he's losing he was probably about 10 yards away from him.
He was about the penalty spot.
Yeah, so he's about 10 yards away from Holberg, and this is Richarlison.
No, Holberg's on the edge of the box.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
And then Richarlison's inside the box, isn't he?
He's to the goalkeeper's right.
So he's about well, he's right in front of the goalkeeper. He's about 10 yards from Højbjerg, though, right? You'd say.
Give or take. Yeah, give or take.
Which means the keeper's unsighted for that ball for a good distance.
Well, this is why.
Enough for him to be able to see the ball and get across the goal quicker.
And this is why the offside rule is crap.
Well, it's not really.
Because Richarlison is in an offside position.
Yep.
And, all right, he hasn't attempted to play the ball, but he's in an offside position and he has the opportunity to stick his leg out. Flag should go up.
Yeah.
Right?
But he's affecting the play, though, even by just being there.
Yeah, but the flag should go up. The fact that he's in the goalkeeper's sight, as you say,
VAR have
the flag should go up.
The thing that shocked me is VAR's looked at it and gone, no. That's the thing that shocked me. I don't think that's anything to do with the rule. I just think that's bad officiating.
Yeah, but then that's the thing that they said, that he was far enough away from the goalkeeper to not have impeded his eye line completely.
See, that's the thing. No, I just disagree with that because actually, the closer he is to the ball, Richarlison, the more of the ball he's going to block. So
but he's not in the eye line to the goalkeeper.
But
he's kind of just to the right of him.
He's offside.
He's not directly in front of him.
He's offside. He's blocking the view the goalkeeper's got of the shot coming through. So at that point, he's affected the play.
But I think because he's not directly in front of him, that's why they've said it's fine.
But he's unsighted.
If he's directly in front of him, then he's definitely blocking his eye.
But he's unsighted the goalkeeper from seeing the ball.
I mean, he's not saving it anyway. That's a beautiful thing.
I mean, he could have got a but he's lost 5-6 yards of that ball, which is meant because he nearly got there. To be fair to Mendy, he nearly got there, and I reckon with that extra half a second of that ball coming through, he sees that.
Maybe
he sees it. So I think that one doesn't count. We all know Cucurella had his hair pulled off, so that one shouldn't stand either because there should have been a free kick in there too. So I think
that one I 100% agree with you.
Tottenham
should have been given. We have got away with one.
Count themselves lucky to get away from Stamford Bridge with a point there because they were by far the worst off team. And then all the shenanigans afterwards.
Oh, yeah, it was just bloody funny, wasn't it?
It was funny. It was hilarious. Like, come on, let's have some. If you're going to go for it, go for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've been sent off at this point.
Well, there'd been a bit of needle going on during the game.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the first lot when it kicked off the first time. I didn't really understand the concept
because Antonio Conte went over towards him. I think he was celebrating.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Yeah, he ran up to him, didn't he? And he reacted.
But then obviously Thomas Tuchel goes exactly in the opposite direction when they score their second goal.
He's gone to celebrate with his fans.
Technically, he should be given a second yellow card for that, shouldn't he?
Well, no, because Mourinho did it years ago. It was fine.
He's been given a yellow card already for the altercation first time around.
Yeah, but he doesn't touch. He just runs down the line and celebrates.
But he inflammatory goes past our dugout.
No, he goes up to his fans because the away fans.
He runs past our dugout.
If he runs the other way, he goes to the away fans.
Yeah.
If he runs up the touchline the way of his bench, then he runs up to the away fans. So that would be even more incendiary, surely, running towards the fans. So he ran the opposite way towards the home end.
I can see why he didn't get booked for it because they would have been uproar. But at the same time,
listen to this. Listen to this.
If you're following the rules,
but if this was Conte doing it, do you think we'd be having this discussion? No, we wouldn't.
We'd probably still be talking about it.
No, we wouldn't. If Conte ran past the away dugout to go and celebrate with Tottenham fans, do you think you would be complaining right now?
Well, no, because our home fans are at the other end.
There we go. And
Chelsea's
it was also
Chelsea's dugouts are the wrong way round. That's what it is.
Not really, because what if they scored that goal in the first half?
He still would have run the other way if the dugouts had been the other way round. He wouldn't have an issue.
Oh dear. But there we are. 2-2 at the Bridge. Chelsea can find themselves unlucky. I think Chelsea are looking good. I think all these worries that kept coming out, I thought they were overstated. I think Chelsea are going to be fine this season.
Oh, they will be fine. They just got to put teams away when they have the opportunity.
Yeah, obviously they're still looking for their number 9.
Yeah.
I think Harry Kane might be available. Lol. Imagine.
would never sell him to Chelsea.
Just
If
imagine.
any
though.
club in the world
Just imagine.
came along, Chelsea would be very far down that list.
Just imagine. But that is the key for Chelsea. I think, they'd like someone they could rely on to get the goal and play in the way that Tuchel wants to play. I mean, they've been linked with Aubameyang, which is still a strange one for me.
Yeah.
They're linked with Aubameyang. They just got rid of one troublesome striker in Lukaku, and then
they want to buy another.
You want to bring in Aubameyang. Bit of an odd one, but I know that Tuchel they do have a relationship, don't they, from Dortmund? So
they do from Dortmund, yeah.
So maybe that would play a part in that, but he's proven in the Premier League, but he's not. I mean, he's getting on now, and he's 33 now, Aubameyang.
33, yeah.
So it might be a short-term fix until they find someone else.
It definitely would be a short-term fix. It wouldn't be a long-term
It'd
solution.
probably be fairly cheap as well, given Barca's situation.
I think Barcelona were quoting them like 30 million.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if that's the definition of fairly cheap or not anymore.
It's a lot. It's a lot. If they've been quoted 30 million, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for a 33-year-old striker. I mean, not worth it. And Tottenham still got to improve, I think, to close the gap on the top three.
Yeah, Richarlison came on and made a difference. We looked a lot more at it when he came on.
Yeah. But I think there's still a little bit of work to do, and maybe a bit more. I don't know if you're linked with anyone to improve your team and where you'd really look to improve.
We've got a couple, potentially. There's a kid coming from Udinese, but he's going back to Udinese, so that doesn't really count.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one more. James Garner's one that's come up.
Yeah, no, if we sell James Garner to you, that just epitomises the mess that we're in right now.
We want 14 million for him, so
it's so Man United right now.
You want Harry Winks?
If that's the thing, though, isn't it?
Midfield for you.
That's the thing. James Garner could probably do a job. He's better than Scott McTominay, right? Let's not pretend otherwise. He's better than Scott McTominay. He's probably better. Well, he's probably better than Fred as well.
Yeah.
Right. Why would we sell him so cheaply as well to
14 million ain't cheap.
To Tottenham, if you're sat there and you're going, Tottenham want him. If I'm outside of the football element of Manchester United and I'm seeing, John Murtough is willing to let James Garner go for 14 million, but Tottenham want him, who are better than you, above you in the league, surely you have to go, no. Right? You have to go, well, surely, their recruitment's been a lot better than ours has in recent years. Yeah. So if they want one of our players, which is very rare these days that teams want our players, right? Yeah. Then maybe just maybe we might think about keeping him.
Maybe. Shall we move on to Manchester United?
Dumb.
I'd like to.
Oh, what a mess. My football club's a joke.
I want to move on to Man United.
I don't want to talk about us.
Talk about it.
It's just, we always start, because I have to do this every time. What a result for Brentford if we take it out the context of the mess that Manchester United are right now.
Yeah.
If you're Brentford and you've just beaten United 4-0, you must be, thinking you're on top of the world.
And they blew you away. It wasn't like they beat you.
Yeah, but we lead to our own downfall. Obviously, the first goal, David has a howler. David has a howler. A very rare howler these days. He hasn't made one of them for about 2.5 years. But then all the chat starts on Twitter about De Gea. Oh, he's bad. Dean Henderson was right. Shut up. Stop talking. Dean Henderson is not on a level of David De Gea. He had a very good game for Nottingham Forest. Don't get me wrong. And he could well have, if he'd have played it better than he did, than go to Forest and then moan about his parent club who still own him. Right, he might have still had a future at United. Right, under different management, because let's be honest, he's probably going to be under a new manager again when he comes back next season, by the way we're going.
Possibly.
It's just the mess that we are right now, even though, to be fair, I'd be like, well, how can we blame Ten Hag? How can we blame any of our managers?
You can't blame Ten Hag.
Exactly. How can you blame any of our managers up to this point if these players have not done it for 3 managers? Well, well, sort of technically as well a bit Mourinho, but most of them under the last 2, now 3 managers.
And I think the 4th goal epitomised the entire game for Manchester United.
Oh, we're just a mess. It
was just a long ball out from the back. It was a good ball out from the back. 2-on-2 at the back.
Just a mess.
Luke Shaw, in that instance, do you not think he should have brought him down?
Yeah, but I think at that point, what's the point? You're 3-0 down. It's not getting any
you're
better.
3-0 down.
You risk getting sent. You risk getting sent off for what?
Yeah,
You risk getting sent. You risk getting sent off for what? That's the thing, though. And it's like, okay, you missed 3 games. Luke Shaw's not in a position, given that we've just brought a brand new left back, to be missing for 3.
Very well, to be fair.
Exactly. He can't afford to not be playing.
Yeah, true.
He can't afford to be missing games through a suspension when you've got this kid coming on showing a bit of fight. So
you've been beaten by the birds and the bees now, mate.
Birds and the bees. Let's have a conversation about the birds and the bees, shall we? That should have been in the intro. Oh, what a mess. I thought, honestly, we're a joke. We are a joke.
Propping up the Premier League table as well.
What a joke. What a joke. I just can't. I've got no words. We're just the worst. We're the worst football team in the league. We deserve to be there. We deserve to be there. There is not one team who is worse than us. Our cohesion, the way we play, the way that our attitude is, our running. Now, apparently, reports are saying that Ten Hag made the players come in on their day off on Sunday to run the distance.
Yeah,
the difference of the distance that Brentford ran between them. Like, yes, more of that. They need to be taught. They need, but the thing is, the players just are now proving they're not good enough.
Yeah,
and they've proven that now.
They're proving that Ralph Rangnick was actually right.
Ralph was. The thing is, I never thought Ralph was wrong. My issue with Ralph is that he would never have had the power.
No.
To make the changes that he needed to make there, because he didn't have the authority. Ten Hag has the authority.
Yeah.
Right. So people, and they've dismissed maybe some, we don't know exactly what's happened over the summer. But obviously nothing that Ralph probably told them. But I think Ten Hag didn't want to be beholden necessarily to what Ralph had said.
Yeah,
definitely. So he wanted to come in, be his own man, do his own thing. He's now seeing it. He's got to learn the Premier League at the same time as manage this bunch of players who, you know what I mean? The first thing is effort, right? Effort. And the fans will respond to effort.
Yeah, absolutely. They will. Yeah.
For years at United, you know what I mean? You think of some of the unsung heroes at United who the fans really adore. Players like Brian McClare, like Robbo, like even players like Koppel going back and Whiteside. And then you bring it into the more era like Bruce and Pallister. Not necessarily the most gifted footballers you've ever seen. But they gave you everything. You go back as well into the dark. I'm taking us back to our dark days in the 80s because this is what this is now. You people like Joe Jordan and those type of players who, again, we weren't winning a lot. We were winning, the odd cup or whatever. But they put the effort in and the crowd responded. Mm. Even in our dark time, we're very close to that kind of low that we went back to when we got, when we were relegated back in the 70s.
You've only got to look at Marcus Rashford.
So
I mean,
Rashford's a shell.
About him during commentary.
He's a shell of a man.
He's just not tracking back.
He's the shell of the
not running around.
He's the shell of whoever he was 2 or 3 years ago. It's a shame to see that it's just the confidence levels are so
confidence gone completely. Yeah, and
it's the same for a lot of the players. But it's like the first thing you can do when your confidence is that low is run.
Yeah,
is run. Get in and amongst them. Show some fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Show something. Give us something to cling on to go, do you know what? At least they, you know what I mean? I'd like to be able to say, at least they're trying. But right now, they're not even trying.
No.
Right? We kind of lose. We kind of go down early in games, and that's it. We're done.
Yeah. Heads go down, and then I think, oh, God, here we go again.
The mistakes don't help.
No.
And the only one that really showed a backbone was the man who made the mistake for the first goal, who came out and said, "No, I'm going to do the interview for the team this week."
Yeah,
my mistake. And that's why David's come out, taken that shouldered that responsibility for his team, even though he's been carrying them between him and Ronaldo for the last 15 months.
Yeah,
and it's like, you've probably been the man, David. To be fair, and you've made a mistake, and then you get all the David De Gea haters coming in on him, even though really he's been at our best. He got, Player of the Year again last year.
Yeah, he's been the difference between you being top 6 and being.
Yeah, we could have been bottom half the table last year. We probably will be this year, to be honest. The way it's going, unless something drastically changes. Something's got to drastically change in these players for it to even, for us to even consider it. I mean, all the issues now with Ronaldo are coming through again. Ronaldo's been in a bad mood. Well, I'm not surprised. Ronaldo's in a bad mood. We're playing crap. The team aren't putting the effort in, and Ronaldo's the one taking the stick. But he's the one that can see that these players are not doing what they should be doing for the shirt of Manchester. Well, as a professional footballer, let's forget Manchester United, the club, right? Yep. That has its own demands. He's probably looking at them as professionals and going,
they're not good enough.
You're not. Yeah. What are you doing? And so I'm not surprised he's around being a bit moody. What do you want him to do? Be like, oh, it'll be all right next week. Don't worry, guys. like what?
To be honest, I thought you were going to change your shirts at halftime.
To be fair, I think that's probably more of an issue as the viewer because of the angle of the camera than it is at the eye. I reckon at eye level, it's probably not. They probably stand out against the crowd.
Yeah,
especially when you're away at home.
Because obviously you had that famous game with Southampton years ago.
We did.
And changed the shirts at half-time.
But that was a different matter because I reckon Fergie couldn't see his players on the pitch that day. I mean, that might be because they weren't playing very well. To be fair, I couldn't see players on the football pitch. That's just in general, not the kits they were wearing. I was looking at them going, these aren't footballers.
But fair play to Brentford, as you say. They
took advantage of it. They were in our faces. They didn't give a second rest. They put that defense under pressure. You know, they were trying to play out from the back. It just wasn't working. Wasn't working. You know, Eriksen makes a mistake that you don't expect to see Christian Eriksen make.
Not on the edge of his own box.
Yeah, it's just obviously that was probably an instinctive pattern of play that they've been working on, I would assume. So he thought, I'm under pressure, ping it off to Maguire. That was probably what they've been doing in training.
Yeah. But
it's been read. So it's about game and where you are in the moment.
It's about game management, as well.
It's just like, okay, this isn't working.
You don't try and play that pass. You just hoik it out into the stands or just launch it downfield.
I mean, the Brentford player had absolutely committed.
The pass coming.
He'd committed to that block. So Eriksen just needs to have a look over his shoulder, go, oh, he's coming. He could have turned away from him.
Yeah.
He probably could have turned away from him. And he'd have been scot-free. Stick it around the corner, left foot, and he's free of him. But it's like those little moments at the minute. They don't know, and that might be them learning this new style of play a bit, and what to do at the right time, when to do it. But then there's the rest of it. There's the rest of it that goes with it, and it's like, you're just not good footballers. You're just not very good.
Liverpool next week,
Liverpool next week. I mean, no spoilers for later in the podcast, but if we do beat Liverpool, we'll go above them. So,
I like your optimism.
Well, we're not getting anything out of that game. It could be the same. It could be worse next week. Could be worse. And Old Trafford, I would not be surprised if Old Trafford is empty.
Old Trafford's going to be empty.
Old Trafford could very well be empty for that Liverpool game. There are requests for a protest to happen where the fans don't go into the stadium, and I think right now is probably that time where that could happen.
Yeah, but then that doesn't help the team.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I mean, the team doesn't matter at this sort of point, though. But I think the thing at this point is, well, these players. It doesn't matter whether there's 75,000 people in that stadium or not. The players aren't performing.
No.
Right. In fact, in some respects, we played better in COVID when we didn't have fans in the stadium, so it might work for them.
It might work for them.
But it's just like, well, no, now's the time. It's like, well, the fans need to get that message across internationally that this ownership has fundamentally ruined this football club over the 10-year period since Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill have left the club. Right?
Yeah.
Let's not fool ourselves anymore. Right? You can't. Gary Neville put this very well actually during the Monday Night Football. Right? He said, when a school doesn't perform and exam results are bad, you don't blame the players, do you? Right? You get special measures in, and it's the management structure that comes under fire. That is where Manchester United are right now, right? You can't blame the players anymore because they've clearly shown that they're not good enough, right? The recruitment's bad at United, it has been. The coaching, the style that the club wants to be at. I mean, we've gone through 5-6 managers, all with a different type of style of play, who all want different types of players.
Yeah.
None of which really worked out, apart from 2 second places. I mean, apart from that first, that Mourinho year where we come second and won a couple a couple of trophies, and Van Gaal managed to win a trophy. It's been utter and I think who was that? I can't remember who it was. There's someone on TalkSport as well. Who was it? Moaning about United being privileged. Well, we're not. I think. Sorry, but this was a former Tottenham player. I think who was going on.
Simon Jordan, was it?
No, it wasn't Simon Jordan.
It wasn't Simon Jordan. That does surprise me.
It was a player. It was an ex-player, an ex-Tottenham player.
Jason Cundy?
No, I can't remember who it was now. But he was going off on one, and he was just like, "Oh, United, need to get real." And I said, "Well, we're Manchester United. We expect a standard, right? We've gone from that period of greatness, but the dip so quickly. When you think about it, we finished this year after Sir Alex left. We finished 7th." So the dip was straight away. The warning sign was there from the first year of this. And yeah, football goes ups and downs and different clubs come through. But when you've had that sustained success for 20 years, and then the next year it's gone. It wasn't a slow burn. It wasn't like, we've had a couple second places, we've dropped off the boil and fallen slowly down the league. Like a bit like Arsenal did, really. That's kind of what happened to Arsenal, wasn't it? They went from they went from winning the league, they went second, and they come third a few times. And it was all about getting into fourth. Then they sacked Wenger, and then it went bad, and then they're starting to come back again. That's happened in the space of 4 or 5 years for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And that turnaround for them has happened. But Manchester United are just in a mess. The training ground used to be the best in the Premier League. It's now not. It's probably not even in the top 5. The ground used to be the best in the Premier League. Now it's probably, again, not even in your top 5. The club's a mess. It needs investment. And all the Glazers want to do is take their dividend out.
Yeah.
That's all they're interested in. But it surprises me, they keep going on, they show the face. Oh, yeah, we want us to bring back the success. Well, prove it. Do something. Invest. No, don't get me wrong. They're not going to put money into Manchester United. They're just going to use Manchester United, right, to do it. And then, but what will happen is they'll get to the end of the financial year, go, okay, yeah, we've done all right with sponsorships again this year, yeah, and they'll take their dividend, and they'll be like, yeah, they'll be happy. Because at the minute, it just feels like to the Glazers, this isn't a project anymore. It's a cash cow.
Money making exercise.
Yeah. They're more worried about what's going on with making sure Tom Brady gets his contract sorted. Over in Tampa, what can we give Tom Brady? I know. Let's take 20 million out of Man United this year and put that on Brady's contract.
It'll get better. It might have to get worse, but
it's going to get worse. And they keep coming on with these takeovers or whatever, and I just don't believe they're going to happen because the Glazers don't want to sell. Why would you sell something that's making you 20-30 million pounds a year or whatever they're taking out in dividends every year? And they probably won't leave us until it's too late for the club to recover in time properly.
Yeah.
And then we could be
back to the dark days.
It's going to be a horrendous time. But there we are. 4-0. What a joke of a football club right now. Let's see, because we've been linked with so many players. I was looking at the Sky Sports reporting, and I don't know what's going on there, or the stuff coming out of the club. In the space of 2.5 hours, right, I saw 3 reports on the Frankie de Jong thing.
All right, okay.
First one at 5 o'clock was Manchester United are optimistic over the Frankie de Jong deal. Right. 7 o'clock, Man United have some doubts about the Frankie de Jong deal.
Yeah.
7:30, they've withdrawn the bid, the agreement with Barcelona for Frankie de Jong. That happened in the space of 2.5 hours. I saw a report, I think Adam Crook at TalkSport said Frankie de Jong will be a Manchester United player by the time the Liverpool game happens. That's not going to happen, is it?
No.
I don't know what's going on in terms of channels coming out of the club. I don't know what's going on. Because obviously these reporters are putting their neck on the line saying this stuff. So they must be getting it from somewhere. You know what I mean?
Someone's doing some Chinese.
They've been linked with a striker from Atletico. I know nothing about him.
Morata, yeah.
No, not Morata, Kuka. Or Kucha.
All right, yeah.
Been linked with them. Obviously the Rabiot deal.
Sergio Dest was another one.
Who's that, sorry?
Sergio Dest.
Yeah.
Another Barcelona player.
Yeah, Barca player. The Rabiot deal doesn't seem like it's any closer to getting done. I don't know why that's taking so long. We agreed the fee. Here's a contract offer. Surely you take it or you don't at this point.
He's got to talk to his mum about it first.
His mum's going to kick off no matter what. And it's just like, what is going on? I don't understand what's going on. But there we are. Right, let's move on to other things because it makes me sad. I don't really want to talk about Man City next. Shall we talk Southampton Leeds so that I can?
Let's talk about Southampton Leeds. Very good game of football, that
Yeah,
one.
it's very good because I can say that Leeds lost a 2-goal lead. That makes me feel a little bit happier.
They did, yeah.
Rodrigo has turned up though, hasn't he? Early season.
He has, yeah, definitely.
Got on 2-0 up. Scored, 2 really good finishes as well for those 2 goals.
Southampton didn't lay down. They got themselves back.
They didn't, and they needed to show that fight, and they did, and they turned it round. And they can be very happy with that performance, I thought.
Although Joe Aribo took an age to shoot.
Composure.
Yeah, I know it was composure.
Composure, that was.
Bloody thing,
yeah, he's just like, no, I'm going to make sure I'm getting this. This is my first,
He sat the goalkeeper down, and he was just like, come on.
His first goal for the
club. There's only a player on the line.
His first goal for the club, he wanted to make sure, and he did. Pulled him back into it. And then Walker Peters as well with a good finish.
Yeah.
That one. A very exciting, proper Premier League game, that one.
Yeah, did go backwards and forwards, and then it sort of last 10 minutes or so. It was like, well, I don't know who's going to win this now.
Yeah, Leeds will be obviously disappointed they lost a 2-goal lead.
You're always disappointed you lose a 2-goal lead.
But Southampton had that fight back, and
given what they showed against us last week, it's nice to see that they actually had a bit of fight about it, because they could have just rolled over.
This is it, though. This is what Southampton have been, though, haven't they? Under Hasselhouten, he's inconsistent. They're consistently inconsistent. They'll be brilliant one week and then get decimated the next. And Southampton fans at times must be thinking, "Oh, we've turned a corner." Oh no, we haven't.
Yeah, we've just turned another corner. We're back where we started.
Exactly. It's like every time for them. Every time for them. But they can be happy with their 2 goals to get them back into it. 2-2, that one finished. Right, okay. Let's talk about, shall we, Brighton, Newcastle and Wolves Fulham, because they're quite easy to get through because it was 0-0. And I'll be honest, I never even watched the highlights for these.
Yeah,
so
Brighton
you
had
talk
a
us through
chance that was cleared off the line.
Yeah.
It was a very even game. Neither side really did much to win it. Yeah. Wolves
disappointing.
And Fulham.
I saw the penalty. I saw the atrocious penalty.
Oh, Mitrovic, what are you doing, son?
He's had a shocker. Especially after the composure. Especially as the composure that he had with the one against Liverpool.
Yeah, just put it in the corner.
Yeah.
Jose Sarr doesn't save it if you put it in the corner.
Yeah. It was a shocker, and unfortunately Fulham couldn't get their first win.
Wolves probably would have felt they would have won that.
Yeah, they probably did. They probably did. Looking at it, I mean, you know what? They had 60% of the ball, but they only had one shot on target according to the stats.
Well,
so
they haven't got anybody to put the ball in there. They might have soon though, because they're after a record buy.
Yes,
45 million for the Sporting Lisbon kid.
I think that's been confirmed, that deal.
It's near. I think it's near enough done. It probably will be done by the time this goes out.
Fabrizio's said, "Here we go," so we know that it's.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's here we go. I think so.
Right. Okay.
I think
here we go time. Then it's a go. So that will make a huge difference to them if he can hit the ground running.
Absolutely.
Wolves. Goals have always been a problem under Nuno and under this.
But that's just without having Jimenez practically for 3 seasons we're getting into now, aren't we? With Jimenez struggling with injuries.
He's not been the player that he was before the head injury. Sadly.
Yeah, indeed. Arsenal then. Let's talk Arsenal. I thought they were very, very good, Arsenal.
They were very good.
They were very good. And that first finish, but Gabriel Jesus' first goal, that finish is special.
It is a very good finish. Yeah, very good.
I was looking at it going, oh my God, that's... Just to be honest, he didn't really... I know I might be showing my ignorance here, but I never really saw that real finisher's instinct from him at City.
No.
But he's just the role maybe that you have to play in that City setup. But here he's just he's finding it and he's scoring the goals. He's getting into good areas.
Scoring.
Yeah. And he never really showed those goal scoring instincts while he was at City. But since he's coming to Arsenal, even the back post header.
Yeah.
It's good centre forward play from him.
Getting the supply to him as well.
Yeah.
Which obviously
you're not short of supply in a Manchester City team. I just think it's that role that centre forward plays for City. It's very specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
Saliba will be a little bit disappointed with his own goal.
He will be very disappointed with his own goal.
I think he could have. He was stretching, And I can understand why he thinks he has to go for it because, he's just going to drop into the path. I think, was it Vardy running through behind him?
Yeah, I think he was.
And he has to do something with it, but it wasn't to be.
No.
So you think, oh, okay, Leicester are back in it, but then straight away, Xhaka goes up the other end.
Yeah. And
it's 3-1. They responded
well.
well.
Vulnerable when you've conceded.
Well, that's it. Well, Leicester did it twice. Because Maddison scores and then Martinelli the next minute and scores again. Yeah. I am worried about Leicester this year.
Yeah, very much so.
They need improvement.
Yeah.
And they keep getting, all their players are getting linked as well with other clubs at the minute.
Yeah, because Fofana's
linked away. I think Maddison's been linked away.
Tielemans.
Yeah. Someone could yet come in for Ndidi. Please, Eric, see him. So there's a problem for Leicester because they're not investing, and it's unusual for them not to go out and try and improve. They've kind of been, but to be fair, they haven't really invested too much over the last couple of seasons, really, have they?
No,
there's not a lot really that they've done.
Losing Kasper's a big one, and
Kasper's losing Kasper was. I mean, but he's probably got to a point where he wanted to go, and the club had just said, "Well, he's been such a good servant. How can we?" But then to not have something lined up in terms of a goalkeeper, because if that happens, I think if they knew that Kasper wanted to leave early summer, why are they not busting a gut to try and get someone like Dean Henderson?
Yeah. Maybe they were. Who knows?
That for me, that could have been a no-brainer. But yeah, the fact that they haven't got another goalkeeper lined up yet is an odd one, because I don't think Danny Ward is someone, even though they've given him the number 1 shirt, I don't think he's someone that you can bank on as being your number 1 goalkeeper consistent for a season, to be honest.
I mean, he's not played enough games over the last 4 or 5 years to suggest that he could step in and do the job for him. No.
So Leicester needs some. Jamie Vardy's not getting any younger.
Nope.
He's also been linked with a move to Manchester United, by the way. Jamie Vardy. Yeah, we're getting linked with everyone at the minute, but I wouldn't really want to go for that deal. I think Jamie Vardy would have been good for United 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But not now.
Yeah, his pace has dropped off considerably, hasn't it?
Yeah. So they've got some work to do, Leicester. Arsenal do look strong.
They look brilliant.
They've had a really good start to the season. They look better than Tottenham.
It's fine. We're only second week of the season. I'm not worried.
Yeah. 2 points ahead of Spurs already.
Yeah, not worried.
So tough times ahead, and then we get
6 points ahead of Man United.
And then we get to the machine that is Manchester City.
Yep.
Just keep going.
Rolling on.
Easy peasy. The opening goal from Gundogan, the strength from Haaland to hold off his defender, fall on the floor and still get the pass away. Unreal. Kevin De Bruyne's outside of the boot finish.
Oh, what a beautiful finish.
What a finish that was. And then Phil Foden gets the third one.
Should have squared it to Haaland, but yeah.
But there was one earlier, wasn't there, where Haaland was absolutely just like the sweatiest FIFA goal in the world, was just to pass it sideways. Who was it? I can't remember who it was. Was it Foden?
I think.
Was it Foden who had the shot instead of... All he needed to do was square it to Haaland, and he was tapping it in front of the home crowd for the first time.
Touches, Haaland.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need to in that team. I mean, for him, if he gets one touch and that touch is to put the ball in the back of the net, he'll be happy. He's a goal scorer. So he'll just be frustrated he's not scored, not that he's only touched the ball 8 times.
Yeah.
Because that's just the player that he is. He's very much in that... his mentality reminds me a lot, actually, of Ruud van Nistelrooy and the way he used to think about goal scoring.
Yeah.
Ruud didn't care if he didn't touch the ball in a football match. If he touched the ball once in a match and it was to put the ball in the net, he'd go home happy. He wouldn't care. He
Lots
just
of
wanted
people
to
will
score
be
goals.
Unhappy for fantasy points, though.
Yeah, they probably will be, but they can blame Phil Foden because he'd have had that one touch for a goal with Foden.
I'm definitely blaming Phil Foden.
Yeah, it's definitely Phil Foden's fault. For sure.
Bournemouth will be glad to have that one out of the way.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tricky one for Bournemouth. They still might want to do some work in the transfer market.
Yeah.
But
the fact it was only 4-0, maybe a blessing come the end of the season.
They've gone to the Etihad and got blown away. There's many better teams than Bournemouth that are probably going to suffer the same fate.
Yeah.
Up there, so they're not going to be too disheartened with that. Not. Villa, Everton, Danny Ings with a belter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it needed to be because he took the ball off Coutinho. And if he doesn't score, that's probably what made him score that, because he thinks, oh no, I've just taken it off Coutinho's foot and he was running in on goal. He had to score that.
Very good
it was a good turn and a good finish, but it had to be, because he would have been in a lot of trouble, I think.
And Everton, I thought Everton were unlucky. They were very much.
They were good, but they didn't
half chances.
Yeah, they didn't really create much. And I do like this stat that I saw this thing.
Luca Digne
being Everton's top goal scorer after leaving the club 8 months earlier, which is a great thing.
Did you see the other stat?
No, what's the other stat?
So the last time that Aston Villa played Everton, Luca Digne scored an own goal, but he was playing for Everton.
Oh, brilliant!
He scored a goal for Aston Villa.
There we go.
And then obviously switched clubs.
That's another good one. He was just paying it back.
He was. Yeah.
It wasn't that dangerous at 2-0 up. He's like, I can give him that.
Now, Bentier's goal was pretty good.
That was both of the Villa goals were really good. A much needed win for Villa and Everton, of course.
Bit of a difficult one with Diego Carlos though, out for the season.
Yeah, no, they've lost an important player for him.
Yeah.
At the back. Obviously, they'd kind of brought him in to be that competition back there, but they're going to have to revert back to Konsa and
Mings on. They're going to have to go out and get another one.
Yeah, they might look for a loan deal though, I think, rather than
a purchase.
Yeah, they might have a look to see what's available in the last couple of weeks of the transfer market.
Mm-hmm.
Needed. Everton are going to struggle. We said this, and I don't see that changing.
They're talking about Gordon going to Chelsea, which seems bonkers.
Bonkers. Oh, that £40 million bid going in from that's an odd one for me. That the only thing I thought, the only thing, but yes, he is Everton's best footballer, but even for Chelsea, it's an odd move, I think.
Yeah, they don't need.
So unless they know they're going to lose someone else, maybe a Pulisic or a Ziyech or someone, I think.
Yeah, could do.
Was the point that Karen Carney made at Super Sunday, whatever they call it these days. So so interesting moves for Anthony Gordon potentially. Everton, they need to get out. I mean, I don't know what they can do. Obviously, Onana came on for like the last 10 minutes, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Salomon Rondon made a reappearance.
Yeah, he was suspended last week.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But I think Everton need to do some work in the next couple of weeks on their transfers.
They definitely do.
The other game then on Sunday, because we talked about Chelsea Spurs, was Forest and West Ham. And I've never seen a team defend for their lives like Forest did on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was the rear guard of rear guard actions.
And the goal was just, well,
I think Jesse Lingard should have scored.
Yes.
Because when I first saw it, I thought, he's passed that to him.
No.
That's what I think. I thought, because it was so soft. The effort was so soft. And of course, I didn't see the deflection on the first time seeing it. So it just looked like he'd passed it straight to him. And I thought, that's odd for Jesse. He'd normally sprung that in.
Yeah.
But it was a really poor effort, and it just bounces nicely for Awini. Awini. I apologise for butchering names.
We'll go with that one. Yeah.
Butchering names. But they defended like nothing. And then the penalty from Rice was a shocker.
Oh, dear.
Not a good one.
Not been a good weekend for penalties.
No, not a good weekend as well. When I want Dean Henderson not to look good as well. Declan, you've let me down there.
Yeah.
You've absolutely let me down there. The thing is, there might be a bit in that, though, because obviously they probably practiced penalties against Dean Henderson. He was probably the goalkeeper they were practicing against for England in the Euros last summer.
The Euros, yeah.
Because they probably wasn't, they probably weren't up against Pickford all the time. Probably at the end of the session have a little kickabout against Dean. Keep him warm.
But if Forest can maintain that atmosphere, I mean, it was absolutely fantastic at the City Ground. They were making so much noise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was.
And if they can maintain that, home form's always the most important one as the promoted side.
That's it. Well, it is for most Premier League teams, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like that is your bread and butter. You know that there's going to be the big clubs are going to come and cause you trouble, but you can probably nick a point off a couple of them. Yeah. But if you can get a lot of wins, at home against whoever eventually finishes bottom half of the table, you're going to have had a good season.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, they definitely. I think West Ham are not a bad team either. Don't forget.
No.
But they had loads of chances. I mean, the free kick from was it Ben Rama?
Yeah, that crashed off the bar. Yeah.
That was unbelievable strike.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple like the point blank save that Henderson made to was it Fornells who had the free header off the rebound.
Yeah,
they had chances. West Ham.
They had chances.
They had very good chances as well. So they'll be disappointed really to not come away with a win, with at least a point from that game. But the regard, I'm all for Forest staying up, so I don't mind. And then that leaves us with one last game, and that's Liverpool Palace.
Speaking of rearguard actions,
or indeed rear head actions.
Ooh, that's a bad pun.
Rear head actions. I'm going with it. It's happened now. So Nunez. I mean, let's talk about the Palace goal first, because I thought that was brilliant.
Brilliant counter-attacking football.
Eze with the little quick feet to get around Fabinho.
Yeah. Knocks
the ball in behind for Zaha, and that finish from Wilfried Zaha is phenomenal.
Brilliant.
It is world class. Yeah. Like, you don't beat Alisson one-on-one easy. You just don't. He's literally the best goalkeeper in the world right now. Right? Yeah. You don't beat him easy. He could only put that ball where he put it. It's the only place that ball can go.
The only place he beats him.
Yeah, it's the only place, and you give it a proper Henri, as I'd call it. The little curler, and it was perfection. And that's probably what they've been working on all week in training, I'd imagine. Is get the ball when we win the ball, win it, win the first ball when it comes out, get it to feet, get it long, play it in the channel.
A couple of chances like that as well.
That's it. Yeah. Play it in that channel behind Nat Phillips. It wasn't it? He was playing centre back. Get it in. Get it in that channel. You know, because Liverpool centre backs come across. Well, that's the thing that they don't cover. They rely on the one-on-one. Liverpool, and they like, well, go on then, and then Alisson, and I think Van Dijk obviously goes to cover, get the sprint down, thinks Zaha's going to cut inside, so puts the brakes on, and that just gives Zaha the space he needed then, because he didn't chop back, and it was a good goal. And then the moment of madness from Nunez. The thing is, though, it wasn't as if it was a one moment, because he had to go first, and then you kind of think, oh, okay, I've had that. Oh, what am I doing? You know, you'd think you'd have that clarity at that point. Go, oh, no, I can't do that.
And then Anderson
Anderson kind of gives him that, oh, what are you doing? Because he saw him try and headbutt him. And then what happened after that? Oh, my God. I mean, that's illegal in every sport. You can't even do that in a box. You can't do that in a boxing match. You can't do that in MMA. That's illegal in any sport you play. And headbutt.
And fair play to James Milner. He was trying his best to get him off the field.
Yeah, James Milner's just like, nah. No. You can't. I don't think a lot of people.
No.
I think a lot of people did probably notice what happened, but the fact that the ref was looking right at it, because they were both kind of shouting at the ref, and the ref must have been thinking, "What's he done?"
Yeah.
And then obviously he gets in the dressing room.
And where's my red card?
Yeah. Absolute bizarre, but Liverpool were phenomenal after that. Still.
Yeah.
They're a football team, And then the goal from Diaz is something special as well.
It is very special.
Yeah. Beat the players that he did. Comes outside, goes to shoot once, but then realises, nope, I can't do that. To have that awareness, running at that speed.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like then that he faked it, but I think he was trying to go for the shot, but noticed the defender at the corner of his eye and thought, no, I'll go another one. And then that strike that he unleashed was something. Yeah, we've seen some really good goals, I think, this week and in the Premier League. It's been a really good weekend of football. There's a lot of exciting things. I mean, taking off my annoyance at my own football club. Brentford beating Manchester United is a huge thing for Brentford. You've had everything that happened at Stamford Bridge. You've had, City being City, Arsenal showing signs of a resurgence. You've got last night's game, Liverpool playing the way they did against 10 men. The 2 goals. It's been a really good weekend of football.
It has, definitely.
That takes us all through the games. I think then we'll should we have a little look? So we've had some leagues start, haven't we, this week?
We have. Some leagues have begun. I'm going to take you around the world and tell you all about it.
Let's do it.
So we begin with Serie A, and it returned, of course, as did Romelu Lukaku. It took him just 2 minutes for Inter to score as they won. Former Manchester United target Marco Arnautovic scored as Bologna lost to Lazio. So, you've got a player who can score there, Chris.
No.
Go and sign him.
No.
Moving into the Bundesliga, where there was a returning goal for Timo Werner as they drew 2-2. That's Leipzig with Cologne. Dortmund won 3-1, and a player to look out for as Jamie Bowden Gittins grabbed the headlines. Englishman doing well in Germany, another one, along with Jude Bellingham. PSG hit Montpellier for 5, but the win is overshadowed by a couple of bizarre moments from Kylian Mbappe. One where he completely got disinterested and just wandered away because they sent the ball the other side of the field. And then he had a little bit of a dust-up with Lionel Messi, just walked into him. And Messi was kind of like, what the hell are you doing? Anyway, moving on to Barcelona. They finally managed to register some players in time for their game with Rayo Vallecano, but it finished 0-0. Real Madrid survived a scare against newly promoted Almeria to come out 2-1 winners. And after a dreadful start to the season in the MLS, Inter Miami moved into the playoffs after beating New York City. Wayne Rooney's DC United lose 1-0 to New England. So it's just the one win so far under Wayne Rooney.
There's still a lot going on then internationally. We love to see it. Did the Austrian league start up this week at all?
Austrian?
That's where Donis is, isn't he? He's in Switzerland.
Oh, Swiss.
He's in Switzerland. I thought about it. I honestly thought about it. Right? I actually thought about it before I said it. And I was like, oh no, it's not Switzerland, it's Austria. I thought Swiss first. No, I got it wrong last week. So obviously it's Austria. So Switzerland then for Donis Avdijaj. Have they started yet?
They have, yeah. They're like 5 games into the season, mate.
Oh, nice. How's he getting on?
So, we'll go back. We'll roll it back a few days. We'll go back to last Thursday.
Okay.
Because we are in the 3rd qualifying round of the Europa League. FC Zurich taking on Northern Ireland's Linfield.
Nice.
Donis scored twice.
Get in.
As they won 3-0.
That's the first time we've had our Winder kids score.
Yes, his first goal.
He's got a couple, like London buses.
So they take on Hearts over 2 legs in the playoff
more British
round.
interest for Donis.
Yeah, to make it into the Europa League. The win in the Europa League, though, didn't transfer over to the league form, though. Just a 1-1 draw for them. No goals for Donis, unfortunately.
He needs the big stage. I think Donis needs the big stage. I think that's what we're learning.
Needs the big stage.
You're a big European
still without
qualifier.
A win, FC Zurich out of 5, but they're getting better.
Getting there. Getting there indeed. Well, that's exciting. So we've only a couple of weeks left, really, until the transfer window shuts as well. So there's lots to go on, I think. It's going to happen in the next few weeks. Players getting linked here, there, and everywhere. We'll try our best to keep on top of it, but it's going all over the shop. So
there's so many things happening. Yeah,
so many things that could happen that won't happen. Obviously, we've talked about the Frankie de Jong saga that's going on, and the Cristiano thing, and everything else that's happening at Manchester United. You've got, Chelsea's bid for Anthony Gordon. You've got other bits going on. I'm sure Liverpool might go in the market for something else if they don't feel they've got enough firepower.
We were talking about Rabiot earlier on.
Yeah.
It's just popped up on my feed that the Manchester Evening News are reporting that Rabiot's obscene wage demands means that the deal is off.
Yeah, fine. If you're trying to make these demands, don't care. I actually back the club in those situations.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to be our problem. Yes. Everyone knows we're desperate.
Everyone knows you're in trouble.
Everyone knows we're desperate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fine. Whatever. Right. Just give up. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Come back next week for the more drama, I guess.
Yeah.
After I've been... Well, do you know what? I won't even be depressed. We're going to lose Liverpool next week. It's a foregone conclusion. So, yeah.
Shall I run you through the fixtures for next week?
Let's have a little look at the fixtures for next week.
Okay, so we start on Saturday lunchtime. An early start for me as well, as Tottenham take on Wolves. Then Everton, Nottingham Forest at 3 o'clock, joined by Leicester and Southampton, Fulham and Brentford, and Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. 5:30 game down at the Vitality Stadium is Bournemouth taking on Arsenal. There are 2 games kicking off at 2 o'clock on Sunday. West Ham and Brighton's 1, Leeds and Chelsea's the other. That's going to be tasty between those two, if you know your history. Newcastle take on Manchester City at the 4:30 game. And as we've alluded, next Monday night at Old Trafford, it could be empty Old Trafford. Manchester United taking on Liverpool.
Indeed. So it's going to be a good weekend of football. There's going to be lots of things happening, I'm sure, as well. So you're not going to want to miss it. We'll be back next week to discuss it all. So make sure that you do look after yourselves. Don't forget you can get in touch at Let's Football Pod on your Twitter. Email us at letsfootballpod@gmail.com too. But for now, we will see you all next week for some more depression. Probably. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.